Hey, welcome to the Elite Table Talks. Karl here. Table Talks. Round Table Talk. Hey, welcome to the round table on a square table. Say what? This is where we're going to sit down with Vitruvian Health team members, trainers, myself, unpacking their training plans. Why are they doing what they do? Let's find out. What are the techniques or tips that we could implement right here, right now in our own training experiences? Look at their client success stories, what they've been doing to get people the results, so then you can use that information to help improve your own training, improve your own nutrition or hack system, and then also improving your lifestyle literally from this episode. So take notes and enjoy, and let's go. Welcome to the round table talk on a square table. Say what? Yep, today a little bit of banter. A little bit of bark music playing in the background. Don't think you can hear it, but I can, so it's going to be a fun day in this episode. So we are in the studio itself. It's Vitruvian Health Studio. Myself and Eddie, we've just finished training on our day 2 program. So we've actually finished our straight set method. So for those who are interested, straight set method is where you're doing one exercise at a time, and we've kept that method. Though what we were doing in our past program is we had 4 upper body days, 1 lower body day, so all lower body. And that's because my partner, Kate, Baba Dealey, gives me a hard time about my physique a little bit. She made a joke that I was a skinny little thing, and then I was like, well, I'll grow, I'll show you. And now, here we are, a little bit more muscular. Though, notice the downside is that my legs have just grown. So the thing is, like, I trained legs once, and they just grow like crazy. So I can't fit into jeans. I don't think I've ever really fit into jeans, except for stretchies. So now, because of that, we've changed the program to be still using straight set method, which is just one exercise at a time. It's easy, like it might be on my phone, or it just allows me to sit down, take a few breaths, do the same exercise so I can tweak and work my forms. I felt my shoulder lifting in that last exercise, pull it down in the next set, really control it. It's really good for mind-muscle connection, really just building awareness as well. So if you're looking, if you've been training and you're like, I can't get my muscles to grow, and you're doing all these weird and wonderful ways, sometimes it's good to just go back to basics, doing one exercise at a time. The plan is after this phase, we'll have done 10 weeks of just one exercise at a time. What Eddie and I are going to do is we're going to do a superset method. I'm going to work on any lagging body parts. So it might be, let's say the bicep is good, so we just do one bicep exercise, and then we're going to overload the tricep to bring that area up. We combine all of our workouts with some compound lifts. So the first 2 exercises are typically the compound. So today was 75-degree dumbbell shoulder press, supersetted with seated cable rows. Now we used to do some barbell bent over rows, but we were loading a lot of erector work and felt my back like just really tight, really jacked. So that we changed it to be like 1 cable base or upright doing rows, and then 1 bent over rather than 2 bent overs and 1 deadlift day. So that's a way that was quite taxing. So we made that change, and then we do 2 lower body exercises every single day. So it's full body, 5 days upper body with 2 days with 2 lower body exercises. Typically it's 1 calf because I want to grow my calves because my dad has big calves and I want bigger calves than him. And we got it. Though we don't waver. We continue on. We got to make sure we don't drop that ball there. And so that's currently what's going on with the program and what we're training with. Downside, personally for me, is that like week 1, hit all the numbers, knew what we were going to be working towards. So, for example, in the dumbbell press, we did 28 kilos. So next week we should be doing 30s. Week 2 was 28 kilos, and then week 3 was 28. And that's not because I've gotten weaker. Well, I have gotten weaker, but that's not because of any structural issues or a plateau. It's because what happened was I'm doing a nutrient cleanse. So I've removed carbs, meat, and I'm just going a lot of fruits and veg, and so my glucose levels have kind of dropped. I don't have any like stores, so I just feel a little more sluggish. I've also taken out caffeine. That was a big difference. So mentally I'm not as alert, but the thing is I can maintain a steady flow. So I've just sustained the same weights. Some exercises have progressed, so like bench press felt good, more stable. Dumbbells, just noticing it's a little harder. So those are the things that we're working with at the moment, tracking it weekly, and happy with that progress. Diving into today's episode, we're going to talk about how to find the right trainer or the right coach. A little bit about myself. My name's Karl. I have a diploma of nutrition dietetics for trainers. I am certified personal trainer, and I'm also a massage therapist and founder of this company, Vitruvian Health. And I'm the guy on the table talk, in case you haven't realized this is me. I'm Karl. Bit about my backstory, how it all started. would say 31 years ago, I had a mum who had multiple sclerosis who couldn't get out of the chair. Couldn't. That's life. She could only blink once for yes, two for no. And as a kid, that was quite painful, quite challenging. But me, as the little devil that I am, I remember running out, getting an iron because mum couldn't get out of the chair. All the carers had left because my dad was coming home in about 20, 30 minutes. So obviously, little devil left with mum who couldn't do anything. I had enough. And so I got an iron, plugged it into the power point, and I said to mum, if you don't get out of that chair, I'm going to burn this down. And so she was like, couldn't move. Poor mum, like, gosh, what a brat. And then I went, okay, well, I warned you. And then dad came home. I sprinted to the front of the house. He had a big bag of chips, took the chips and ran away to eat them as quickly as I could because he knew I was getting in trouble. And then from there, pretty much from there, obviously, that was one way of communication, but didn't quite work. Though over those years with my mother, I obviously had to learn different ways to communicate because I wasn't getting the responses that I needed. So I would look for telltale signs in her body, noises or sounds. And so I was still able to play games and, grow up. Wow, really heartfelt. I was still able to grow up, so I didn't burn any more floors. But I think it really taught me different methodologies of how to communicate. So from there, it was kind of the outlier, really into sports, but this has been a passion to always, help serve more people to change their lives and really work on health because not everyone was as fortunate as I. My dad did do a lot of work, but he did make sure he could provide for my mum and me. And so this is me just paying that forward to really help those. I've worked with quite a few people in the last few months that have really had challenges with their health. And really for some of them, it's just talking about, I think I talked about 20 minutes, on a public holiday with a gentleman. We talked about 20 minutes about water. So for him, he's now going to buy a little filter to help. Now he came in for training and we talked about nutrition. And really, I think he got on the train for 90 minutes and really was like, hey man, I think it's going to be easy for you to work with a trainer that's next to you and gave him the resources hey, here's some sites that you can go and find a trainer to help you. And then here's the report based off your structure balance. And so he's got a few steps now he can work with. If he works with us, awesome. But the thing is, we're not accessible for everyone, but also for some people, we're not the right place. Because for that gentleman, he just needed someone to come to his house, help him exercise. This episode is really dedicated to that. It was really big shout out to mum who kind of got me on the journey and dad. But this episode is really dedicated to finding the right trainer. And just know that there's so much information out there. Is this the right episode? Yes, because I'm not here to sell you. I'm here to really sell you on the vision itself. And I'm here to give you some tools and examples so you can find that right trainer. Number one, hands down, before we even dive into it, is that if you're looking for a personal trainer, where to start is find a trainer that's invested in themselves. If you see a PT board and it says Cert 3, Cert 4 and their first aid, you can laugh, but the question is, when did they start? If they started 3-6 months ago, then maybe work with that trainer and ask them what's their own vision? Because you want a trainer who's heavily invested. I've done this for 19 years now, and I can tell you a lot of the information that I had way back when, man, I didn't even believe, I didn't even think that your knee could go that far. I didn't think if your knee went past your toe, it was game over. You shouldn't even lift your heel. But the thing was, I could still make effective workouts and people have a good time. But with a trainer who's constantly learning and growing, they'll eventually teach themselves new methodologies, new programs, and they're always going to be thinking about you and how they can help serve you. So they would, I remember when I'd go to America and learn a course, I'd get back Sunday night, and then I'd be up Monday morning. I'd be telling the clients, and I remember there's one time, we used to get pens and papers and throw them around, and that was to stabilize the jaw, and we had people lifting more weight. And then, good thing these are clean. We're going to sterilize that pen. But there were things like that. Some of this stuff I had clients too. I'd be like, man, I just learned this thing, and we would test it. And still to this day, I remember a gentleman who he came up to us. He goes, I have to train with you. I go, oh, why? He's like, because your female client just deadlifted 120, and I can't lift even 100. I was like, yeah, you probably should. And he got to about 200, but he was we put that stuff in his mouth. He could only get to 180, but once he could clench and stabilize his jaw, boom, he could lift 200 more. And so for that case, after we'd done that, it's cool, do that exercise, but go see maybe a chiropractor or a manual therapist that can release the tension in your jaw so it stabilizes. Fun fact, just open your jaw, it should go down. It shouldn't go to the side or wobble. If it does, then maybe you can work on trigger point release work around here through the ear line, like down into the jaw, and that might help it. If not, you get dry needling, you get laser, an adjustment, and that might restabilize that jaw. So there's all these little nuances, and a trainer who's constantly upskilling themselves, working on their referrals, reaching out to people, they're going to eventually, maybe not today, have the answer, but in the future, they'll have the answer. Or you could guide them and say, hey, I have a jaw problem. They'll be like, I'll get back to you in 7 days. So you want to find the first thing to be mindful of is what is the passion of that trainer? Like where are they going? What are they studying? If they're like, I haven't done a course in 3 years, maybe not. Maybe don't go there. Though there's still some great people that don't do courses because they've got families. They might be studying. They use YouTube. Like just fact checked. What are they learning? And what are the results they've gotten? They aren't educating or studying. Yeah, personally, I wouldn't be working with that trainer because all the trainers that have worked in Vitruvian Health, we upskill every week. And so they don't do as many courses as what I do, but they're constantly learning and evolving every week. Right, so we're going to break this down. So the next section is, you need to ask yourself, do I need a trainer? And personally, everyone needs a trainer or coach because you can't all see, like we've all got blinkers on and we can't see what we can't see. So yeah, everyone needs a trainer and being open to it. Now, cost-wise, this is where you could go online, like you could follow a podcast and YouTube channel, and that is enough for you've now got a coach in your pocket. Well, there's all these apps as well, but the thing is, you've got to ask yourself, what is one thing I can change each week? And if you're constantly doing that, wherever you get your information from or who you work with, that's enough to keep moving you forward. Like if you made one change a week, that's 52 changes in a year. Now, if you could do that daily, that's 365 changes in a year. Like a person who makes a change every day is going to be far greater than the person that every week. Though, most people don't make changes. So if you're doing one a week, you're further ahead. Like the easiest thing is if you're wanting to make a change in your scale weight, you either eat more, stay the same, or eat less. Or move more, stay the same, move less. When you hop on the scales at the end of the week, like if you hop on the scales and you want to see weight loss and you eat more and your weight goes up, guess what? Eating more did not help. Cool. Next week, do not change anything. Weight continues to go up. Great. Week 3, eat less. Great. The weight went down. Not every week will be a game changer in leading to a result, though it'll guide you in the right direction. Where if you didn't change anything for a year and it gradually keeps going up, then you'll be in a position where you're like 10, 20, 30 kilos heavier and you're like, what happened? So let's break it down in the sense of if you're a beginner, you've never exercised before, work with a coach that's probably going to be hands-on. You need guidance and proper form and technique. So getting someone who's going to be hands-on. If you're seeing someone who doesn't really touch their clients, then you might have a faulty movement pattern. Getting someone hands-on is going to accelerate that progress. Now, if you don't want someone to touch you, again, working with a coach who's got attention to detail or gives varying cues, because your knowledge is here, their knowledge is here, not to be greater than you, but to guide and bridge the gap so you guys can move forward together. So if you're feeling that there's friction and you're like, man, they're saying all these words, hey, can you explain that in a different way? Like a lot of, think of firefighters, a lot of them are out in the bush, obviously protecting us all, which obviously thank you for the service. But the thing is, they might be stepping over logs. Now, that might be them stepping up, all right, but some people call it a step down. And it's like, well, hang on, what's the difference? They might look the same, but it's just the language is slightly differently. Or them stepping over something leads them to lunge, but for them it's like, I just step over logs versus lunge forward to me. So you want to find someone who's got a good repertoire, and I'm not the perfect example, like language for variation, but the thing is, I work on finding the language that works for the person. So we then eventually get like shoulders down, shoulders down, shoulders down. It might be like, hey, pull your shoulders, or reach your hands into pockets, right? Same action, but it's just a different cue. So finding what the cues are. Now, if you're having challenges with that, and intermediate and advanced people are the same, sometimes using the coach as a technique review can definitely help serve you so you can get stronger and decrease risk of injury. For those that are intermediate or have hit plateaus or have had an injury, or those are the tens of people, or they've been training for a while but not seeing the results. So you're more of an intermediate, possibly advanced lifter, intermediate person that you've been training for 12 months plus. That's when hiring a coach would serve you in the sense of overviewing the programs, the accountability, the resources. So they'll check in with you to make sure that you're moving forward, but also tweaking the plan. For example, if you're wanting to build muscle, you might need to lift heavier, but you might have performance anxiety because the weight's now too heavy. Cool. Or you could, instead of doing 3 sets of that heavy weight, maybe do a little bit less, but do 5 sets. And that leads to an increase in total tonnage. So if you're noticing plateau or breakdown or recovery, or man, you might be really busy and you need someone to build the plan for you so you can get in, get out, then that's when hiring the coach is right there for you. The last thing I'll say with this is people are like, this is my biggest pain point. And a lot of people are going to have a go at this, but like, you don't need motivation. So many people, I need motivation. Okay, think about something you really enjoy. Do you need to be motivated to do that? No. Okay, cool. You don't need motivation. You just need to stop doing the boring shit that leads you to feel like brr, right? Like there's nothing more boring than not getting results. Okay, done. So you should be motivated in your future to get the results. However, I don't like doing bench press because it hurts my shoulder. Then don't do bench press. Like there are over 5,000 exercises. 5,000. And people are like, I need to be motivated. No, just don't do the thing you don't want to do. Pilates instructor, yoga, cycling, cycle instructor, golf instructor. Like there's a golf gym in the city of Sydney, like for golfers. Like go to the golf gym if you like golfing. Don't go to the gym and go, oh, this is boring. I don't like being motivated. Don't do the thing you don't like. But Karl, what if I have to go to the gym because I'm going to get stronger? Cool, well, let's simplify it. Don't do 3 or 4 sets, just do 2 or do 1. Like get in 5 to 10 reps, like external rotation, shoulder press, like work to failure on that. Like, cool, done. Don't do 2 more sets, move on to the next exercise. Because if you're constantly moving, you might find that more enjoyable. But like the amount of times that like, I'm not motivated. You're not motivated because you're doing stuff that sucks and you don't enjoy it. The thing is, in business, you do the thing that sucks. It does have a payoff. There's a difference, right? So if you're not motivated and there's 5,000 options, then pick a different option. The thing is, in your career or business, that's your job. So like, yeah, that kind of does suck and there are times where you're not motivated, but find the things that you do enjoy so you can kind of back and forth. But the thing is, there is technically 5,000 different types of jobs out there, but this is the one you have the skill sets in. You can make a choice. Quit, find another job, and then do that job that you enjoy. Karl, that's really hard. Yeah, because motivation's not a thing. Just getting aligned with where you want to go in the future, that's really where it is. And so motivation is short-sighted seeing, not future-sight seeing, but I totally get it. It's the it word at the moment. Focus on the outcome that you want and ask yourself, is this the thing that get me there? And also, it can be fun. Like, there is this thing where I think quite a few people that work with us, we do a group workout Saturday, 9 a.m. You're welcome to join if you're watching this. Like, come along. It's $50 for the class. Say, hey, I watched the podcast and you said I'd come free. I will do that for you. But the thing is, a lot of the time people like coming to the workout and Kate and Emma, talking to you two, there is like, you know, Karl, compliments go a long way. And I'm like, shut up and pick up the weight. However, Eddie, he's like, beautiful form, great work. And we have a good laugh because the thing is, Eddie and I work really well together because we're not identical, we're very different, both have skills, but Eddie's a more compliment, great work all the time, where I'm like, fix this, shoulder down, push your heel down, come on. But then when you finish, I will give you the compliment. But they're like, give us compliments all the time. I'm like, work harder, then I'll give you a compliment. So there's this good bit of banter back and forth, and so that makes it more enjoyable and the process a lot easier to do. And that's why we do Stronger on Saturdays, because people do the PT, yes, discipline, get it done, but sometimes you still need to make it fun. Like, would you rather be miserable, and again, I need to be motivated, but would you rather be miserable for an entire year to get the result, or take 18 months to get there and enjoy the whole process? And the thing is, both are fine. Just weigh it up. So that's my take on motivation. So let's dive into how to pick the right personal trainer or a coach. What is the difference? A trainer is going to count your reps. The thing is, everyone's a personal trainer, and there's this whole thing where everyone wants to be a coach, but a coach is someone who educates and guides you through the process. Trainer can still do that because that's maybe you just need the accountability. Call it a trainer or a coach. I personally think they're the same thing, but in the industry, it's a big difference. Number one, define what your goal is. List 3 to 5 things that you need help with, and then a lot of the time people will say, write down 10 things, focus on the top 2. So I'll say, ask yourself this: what is the BHAG and the BAM towards your goal? What is the big, hairy, bodacious goal that you really wish you had? What is that? And then what is the bare-ass minimum that you want? So if you want to lose 20 kilos, but the minimum is 10, have the guide. Because guess what? If you look at an aggressive weight loss journey, 500 grams per week, then it's going to take you 20 weeks to get the minimum, 40 weeks to get the max. Sounds pretty easy? I only want to do 20 weeks. Okay, cool. We're doing the BAM. So creating that realistic approach, like having the spectrum. But really, whenever it comes to weight loss, focus on losing the first kilo, because then you build the habit. And that's much easier. What's your budget? How much are you willing to spend? But also, what is the cost of inaction? So if you say, oh, I'm willing to spend $200 on personal training per week, cool. If nothing changed, how much would it cost you then? So let's say in a year's time, you did nothing. What would it be worth then? So like 200 times 10, it's 10 weeks, it's $2,000. Over the 50 weeks, that's $10,000. So the cost of inaction is $10,000 onto your health. However, if you don't improve on your health or your fitness, you then might not be able to provide for friends, your family, maybe your work performance, so you don't get the pay raise because your health isn't there and you're brain fog and tired. And then, okay, well, if your pay raise was $20,000, then the cost of inaction is actually $30,000. And so the question is, then what are you willing to make sure that, like, you can guarantee that? And you might go, well, I do 300, because then that would be 20,000, but then I get the bonus of 20, so technically I'm up 10. Awesome. But like, have that spectrum. And I'm not saying then go and give all of that to a trainer, but it's just having that conversation of, I might pay $400 for the first 12 weeks, get the technique, get the form, get it dialed in, and then pay $200 for another 12 weeks. And then you've got the confidence and all of that in place. And then you got 100. Technically in the wash, it's the same. But because you've blown it out, you go, well, actually, I can budget that better. So it's like, yeah, it's a bit much at the beginning, but the long-term effect. So this is where if it's 10,000, you go, it's 10 grand. Cool. Well, how can I make 10 grand be like bigger chunk here and then gradually build that out? Because a lot of the time when we work with people, it's like, look, I recommend you train 3 to 4 times a week. Yes, you control the budget. But the thing is, we're going to start here. Unless your goal is to work with trainers for the rest of your life and always have someone be there and be accountable, you'd stay there. But for most of the people, it's like, well, I want to educate and learn and utilize the coach to the best of ability, then we use this. We do have a package where it's like a platinum plan where we do everything for people, and that's because they know they specialize on this, then their budget's much greater. So it's always person dependent. So you've got your goals, you've got your budget, you've got to know the trainer's personality. Like if your trainer talked like this and you really didn't like how they talked, 5 more reps. And this is just like, and their posture and their personality is like, you need to have better posture. And you're looking at them like, what? But don't do what I do, just do what I say. And this is really good job. Oh, hey Eddie, how's it going? Do you like me as your coach when I talk like this? As a robot? Did you say you're going to, what? This is going to hit me because he doesn't like that type of coaching. But Eddie, I'm your friend. Ha, ha, ha. So if that's someone you like, awesome, go for that person. If you're someone who, like, you want someone who's loud and like really shouts, then definitely find that coach that's going to shout and be aggressive to you. Again, I'm like the loud guy, but for people that like the person that's like in the ear going, hey, great work, shoulders back and down, you got this, keep it up. Like, that's 5 reps, I know you can do 10 more, like you can. And you're like, no, I can't. They're like, no, you can. And they just keep whispering in your ear because you don't want like that loud aggression, but they're like guiding you every rep of the way. Then great, like work with Eddie. I know that we've had a lot of great coaches work with us who now have ventured onto new facilities. Like, there's heaps of people out there that, from powerlifting coaches that are now business owners that work in dietitian health practices, sports performance coaches, and they all have their own unique craft from people that are shouting, and that's what people want. So know what is the personality that you want. I personally am a believer, I'm like, the most important thing is getting results. So again, it's got to be enjoyable. And for those that are like, nah, I'll do anything, cool. Well, yeah, you accelerate the timeline. Awesome. But it's always person dependent there. So we've got our goals, check the qualifications, and at the end of the day, book a consultation. Like, get a test for it. Don't, like, some people, like, I know for me, I knew my coaches, like some of my coaches, I'm like, because of their results, I'm like, I'm going to work with you twice a week. And they're like, I know money's not an option. They probably charge me more just because I said that. But hey, we got all our prices. They're all set and done. So just know that you should do a consultation and test the waters. For everyone. Now, if you want a premium facility that's got over 81 specialized bars, and yes, Andy, I have found another 20 specialized bars that I really want. Can let me get them in. We're going to make more sales. So, hey, if you want to join a trainer who has a desire for all the specialty bars and you want part of that venture, reach out to me below. seriously reach out. But yeah, so that's a good summary of that. The other thing would be is like, the last thing I'll say about this, because we're about to go into the game, game time. But the last thing I'll say is that coach or a trainer should be able to tailor their approach. So for example, they might have a system in place. Like a long time ago for me, like the coach that I worked with, Mr. Rawdon Dubois, big shout out to him, is I used to love the amount of detail he would put in. Loved it. Emails, he would like, we're talking pages, people. Like he'd do like 14-page emails. It literally said, pull up a chair, grab a coffee and enjoy the next hour. Like it was great for me because I wanted the data, I wanted the detail. And the thing was, it was flexible at the same time. So he had a real structured regimented like plan. But the thing is, it had flexibility in the sense we would check in every week. So I worked online with him. We'd check in every week and we would make little tweaks every week. It wasn't like, it was like, stick to the plan, like for sure, always stick to the plan. But the thing was, it was still flexible in the sense of like, it wasn't just chicken and broccoli. Thank goodness. The thing is like, okay, well, let's change this meal. Let's tweak that and let's do steak and let's do nuts. And he would tweak that. So everyone had this structured, regimented way, but everyone had their own personalized approach to it, which worked really nicely. And I really appreciated about what he did. And so make sure that it's not cookie cutter in the sense of everyone does the exact same thing. Like, it may look similar and like there'd be similar plans. Like I know he used straight set method with a lot of his clients to begin with. But the thing is, that was a foundation to go, cool, can I push this person a little bit harder? Like for me, or like when I mentioned the training, we're doing straight set, 4 upper body days, 1 lower, but my legs grew too much and I didn't like that. It's because I want to balance my aesthetics. So, and then Eddie wants to grow his full body. So it's like, okay, well, how do we manage both of our expectations? And so we came together and we've done 5 full body workouts, majority upper body using vertical, then horizontal, vertical, horizontal. So there's definitely strength variations. So we're not doing the exact same thing and we're playing with different modalities. But the thing is, we were able to create a plan that worked for both of us. And so that's a really important thing, is that it's not like everyone at Vitruvian Health is now doing straight set method because Karl and Eddie are doing straight method. No, like, and shout out to Dr. Mason, who, when Amy comes and trains, we anything I want to experiment, we do on Fridays because that's her workout, but then I have to do the workout with her. And man, there are times where I'm like, this is the most disgusting program I've ever seen. And Amy's like, dude, you wrote it. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. Past Karl wrote it. That guy sucks. But the thing is, we still do it and we have a good time and good banter. And so that's the thing to remember, is that it is always tailored to you and has that flexibility. If it's regimented, it's their way or the highway and there's no other way to move, run. There's my last thing to say. Still need structure because then it leverages time and it allows people to see how they respond, but definitely a thing to worry about. Or definitely a thing to look into when working with a coach or a trainer. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you have any more questions, comment below and right back. Hey, we'll be right back to the episode. I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you so much for tuning into this episode. And if you know anyone that could get more out of this episode, if you could DM, comment, share the links, that would mean the world to me. Because the more people we can serve, the more people we can help. So let's dive into the episode. Let's get back to it. I can't believe that people watch people eat. Like, that is a thing. Like, just watch yourself in the mirror. I can get it. All right, welcome to the red and green flag in a personal trainer. Yay or nay? What is this game? Andy, our cameraman, is going to ask a bunch of questions, and I'm going to be like, yay or nay. Excellent. So we're going to go into detail with why I say yay or nay. At the end of the day, these are my personal opinions, and if you have your own opinion, comment below, and let's join in this game together. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Question number 1.
Yay or nay? Trainers are always on their phone.
Well, that depends. So, no, they shouldn't always be on their phone, but yes, they should be on their phone if they're tracking the app and the plan for you. So if they're playing games, no. I remember the best coach I've ever seen, or trainer. He was a trainer. The best trainer. His client's bench pressing, and his technique was like, he's rounding in his shoulders, and he racks the weight, and the trainer's like, yeah, and he goes, how do they go? He goes, man, I tell you what, doesn't really matter about your bench press, but check out this video. So, like, it's fun, yay, it's fun to watch, but nay for that guy. So, no, your trainers shouldn't have their phone on them unless it's just your program.
Yay or nay? Trainers have proper certification.
Yeah, it's a great question. Trainers should have certifications because it shows that they're willing to put in the work and put in the time. There's a lot of people out there that don't have certifications. They just have good physiques. But the thing is, they might have really good genetics. Now, if someone's able to sit down, do the exams and the work, and yes, I'm that guy, I struggled. I actually failed my Cert 4 and Cert 3 the first time. And so I failed. But the thing was, I worked out what it was, and I was like, oh, I put in too much detail. But the thing was, if I was to talk in a really detailed fashion, or there were really there's super smart people out there. If I was to give you the level of detail that they had, you'd be like, huh? Thing is, for a lot of us, detail is great, but also being able to simplify that detail into easy steps is really masterful. And so you need someone who has certifications because they've extrapolated that info and they can give that to you.
Yay or nay? Trainers track your progress.
Yeah, track progress. For the first 5 years of PT, I didn't track progress. I wrote it all down and I got lots of results, but the thing is I have nothing to show for it. So yes, they should track results unless you don't want them to. So they should respect that.
Yay or nay? Trainers are always promoting themselves.
Ooh, always promoting themselves. Yeah, they should promote themselves. Not in your session though. They should be training you. They shouldn't be like, hey, good set. Want to refer me a friend? No. Okay. Do another set. Hey, did you change your mindlet? You got some nice pump in there? No. There's a time and a place.
Yay or nay? Trainers pressure you to sign up for more sessions.
Ooh, pressure you to... That's a good question. No and yes. No, they should not pressure you into more sessions. However, there are times and places where maybe you have a lot of work and it might be suggested that, hey, look, I know one lady come every financial year. So her company is end of financial year, June, July. She gets slammed with work. Her results, I'm really excited for her every time because I said, hey, rather than train 5 times a week, let's do 3. Let's make it easy for you. Why don't we train 2 or 3 times together? And for her, she's like, actually, that would be really good because she doesn't have to think about it, so she can stay focused on the job. So time and a place. But if they're forcing you, no, run. Which reminds me of us, when COVID hit, I remember there was a friend of mine, she had a coach, and she had 2 girls, and the coach goes, when it was COVID, she lost her job, she got 2 kids, she's on her own, and she said to the coach, I need to cancel because I don't have a job anymore. He's like, you can't quit, I need you to pay me because I need money. And I was like, oh, not thinking of the person. She told me and I was like, hey, don't worry about it. Here's 3 months of programming, some bodyweight stuff, just follow us on YouTube. And she's like, thanks so much. So yeah, definitely some trainers should not force their clients, but we should be respectful.
Yay or nay? Trainers don't reply right away when you message them.
Depends on context. If they're not prompt with a reply, they should reply within 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours. I like to, if it's a text message on the day, I'll text them. Personally, I'm don't text me between 9 and 5. If you want a quick response, just call. But the thing is, if you text me, you'll get a response today or tomorrow.
Yay or nay? Trainers don't care how your day's been.
Another good question. They don't care how you are. It's good information to know when it comes to training. So definitely they should care. But the thing is, at the same time, if you're paying them for the result, the thing is, if you want to do comp prep and you go to on stage, there are going to be days where you hate them. You're I remember with my coach, I used to hate him so much for a month. But then when it's him, hey man, it's good to see you. Because you check in. So just know sometimes emotions can get in the way. Sometimes. But majority of the time, they should care. Yes. Yay.
Yay or nay? Trainers need to know first aid.
You have to. Your trainer has to know first aid. If they don't, they can't legally be training you. It's actually a breach of insurance.
Yay or nay? Trainers take the time to get to know you.
Yeah. Yep. Trainers should get to know you. They need to know what your goals are, what your outcomes are. Not everyone has the skill sets to ask more questions. But the thing is, a coach that upskills and educates themselves will build on their repertoire to serve you better. So yay.
Yay or nay, you don't feel comfortable with your trainer.
Yeah, no. Nay. If you don't feel comfortable with the coach, there's just so many stories, right? We do a caliper skin fold test and it's non-invasive. You pinch someone's skin and you get a caliper. And the thing is, you can do it with clothing on, which is what I really like. But the thing is that I've had people that are they look really uncomfortable. I'm like, hey, is everything okay? And they're like, oh, I just don't feel comfortable doing that. I'm like, oh, do you mind explaining why? there are other tests, but this is like one that allows us speed and efficiency. And the last trainer that I had got me to strip down, and I don't want to strip down. Oh God, no, don't strip down, keep your clothes on. And she's like, oh, okay. So I think if a trainer has the EQ to check in, be like, hey, is everything all right? Because it might be a touchy subject. Then, yay, you should give the benefit of the doubt and go. But if you're like, oh man, icky, or like, it's like, and this smells really bad, and you're like, oh man, like heard of brushing your teeth or some gum, then yeah, no, I'd say no. So again, some great questions. A lot of depends on the circumstance, but if they don't care, probably not. Yeah, so hopefully you've now got enough information on how to find yourself the right trainer or the coach. At the end of the day, you should always get a second opinion if it doesn't feel right. Like the amount of times that we've had people come in and they're like, oh, I need to think about it. The thing is, like, we've all been thinking about it for a period of time. Like the thing is, you didn't just walk in and go like, I should hire a trainer today. No, like for a lot of us, like we have goals, ambitions, or things that we want to achieve and we haven't. And so we've thought about it. But the thing is, in the moment when you get the information, give yourself 2 seconds. Do you see the person helping me? Yes or no? Then cool. The answer is no. Like this isn't for me. If you're like, yeah, then give them a go. Take the, like, hey, do you have a budget option where we can do 2 weeks? Like we have a fast track pack. You pay for 3 sessions, get your program, get your plan, get your nutrition started, and you start there and off you go. Like we had one guy, he's like, I'm going to do it every month. Life's going to happen. Now I don't be like, hey, where have you been? Or do I? No, like that's not what it's about. And the thing is, if a trainer provides the resources, you might work with them for a period of time, but again, you're not inclined to. So if they continue to serve, then great. That's what a trainer should be doing. And that's one of the challenges with this industry is there's so many people that, yes, it is a business. We do need to make money and thrive. But the thing is, people should be there to serve. And if you want help, we're here for you. And that's really what it should be about. So then you go, yeah, I want the help. Cool. Pay the price. They quote you. Or if you're concerned, just tell them, hey, it doesn't fit my budget. Can we work out a plan here? I'll tell you, yes or no. But the thing is, if it doesn't work for you, like I know for us, there's a few people it's like, it doesn't work for them. It's literally like, here's what you got to do. These are the things you got to do. Da, 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 da. And one guy's like, I got to do a lot of research. It's like, dude, you need to take action. And it doesn't have to be here. Just like, what is the one thing you want to do from today to move forward? For him, it was drinking water, go for a run. Awesome. Go for it. Like, go do that. Like, it doesn't have to be you hire that PT. Now, it would be nice if you did. But the thing is, you have to, at the end of the day, you've got to look after you. And that's what this episode's about, is giving you those tools and resources and some questions. Is there an interested in a personal trainer? These are the questions to ask yourself. Number one, when you spend 30, 45 minutes with them, did I enjoy talking to this person? Yep. Did I build rapport? 2, what is their goals? So you've got your goals. Did they help you? But what are their goals? So did they help you? What are their goals? What do they want to achieve? Where are they going? Do you see them? Like, are they going to grow too? 4 is, do they train themselves? Oh no, I have an injury. Dude, if you hurt your knee, you can still train your upper body. Like the amount of times that people are like, I can't train because I hurt my knee. Cool, you've got 2 knees. You have calves, you have biceps, triceps. Like you can still train. But so many people are like, I'm tired, it's too hard. It's like, I get it. If a trainer's saying that to you and they're wanting to instill you to make a change in yourself, yeah, no, I'm going to say get away from that. So they practice what they preach. 100% they should. 5 is, does it fit my budget? Am I willing to do that cost? 6 is, do they have a team? They don't have to have a team. Or do they want to have a team? Or do they have supports in place? For example, a great question was, like, how do they communicate? If they go, I communicate across all platforms, gross. Instagram, WhatsApp, text message, like if they say all of it, they're going to be so distracted. On speed and efficiency, call them. For me, it's I use Instagram, WhatsApp, and phone for calls. Like 2 platforms. I think there's 21 platforms. Like, can you imagine if someone was going across all those platforms? It's like, dude, singular, focus. And that's what you want. So they're not going to get distracted. Lastly, if they have notifications on their phone, slap them. Because bing, bing. Imagine this in your session. Like, hey, how's my bing, 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 bing. A lot of that is people liking their posts on Instagram or messaging them. Oh, no one's got time for that. So they should be able to phone down and be focused on you. So these are some tools and resources that have helped you. Till the next episode, have a great day and good luck finding your trainer.